Here with us today we have none other than Pastor A.M.P. Thomas, the assistant pastor of Scarborough Seventh-day Adventist Church. We are here on sad terms as we just ask a few questions. Without further ado, Pastor Thomas,
Yes, ma'am.
what were you expecting when you first came to Scarborough?
When I first came to Scarborough, so a little backdrop to that. Scarborough Church is my first official church in this capacity as pastor. I was working in education for roughly 14 years before that, before coming to Scarborough Church in 2016. And so when I heard that I was coming to Scarborough Church, I was not, I guess I can use the words, abreast with the, size of church or number of members or number of youth or if it's hype or not. Like I had no idea about the environment I was getting into. But I can say this. When I found out that there were some people who knew me from Jamaica, when I found out that there were people who knew me from Crawford, my capacity as the high school principal, I felt like the Lord was calling me to a place where people were going to get to know me for who I am, and they were going to accept me for who I am. I was expecting that I was going to come to a place where parents may have been bombarding me about Crawford, about education, about that stuff. And I did not get any of that when I came. When I came to Scarborough, I came into an environment where not only was I encouraged to be myself, but then people loved me for who I was. And people loved my family for who they were. And my family fell in love with Scarborough. In fact, if you'll allow me to say, I came here in September 2016. And later on that same September, we found out we were having our second child. I can say that we had a pretty good introduction to Scarborough.
Amen. Indeed. Thank you for that.
My pleasure.
What are some of the lessons you learned while you were here?
There are so many. What I loved most about coming to Scarborough is that you came to a place where there were people who were willing to give of themselves to you, to pour into you. No benefit to themselves. My personality, they understood from early. I was not a favoritism type of person, but yet still people poured into me. They didn't necessarily try and tell me what to do, but what they did was they told me what they thought would help me grow as a pastor. And it was really a great experience here. I was officially assigned to the youth. However, Pastor Herlock, who was my first senior, and ironically was the man who baptized me, as much as he said, I want you to work with the youth, he made sure to incorporate me into the entire business of the church. And that was a good experience. It helped me to grow. It helped me to get to understand the nitty-gritty of church business and church growth. I was able to, while working with the youth, the AY leader was Gareth Johns at the time, and with his girlfriend at the time, now his wife, Alana Muhammad, now Alana Johns. They welcomed me in, and the youth welcomed me in as well. And I learned that church doesn't have to be a place where you have to be afraid as a leader, but you can make bold moves and still be respected and respectful. I've heard of too many horror stories, and I experienced none of them here at Scarborough Estate Church. So I learned a lot of lessons that I pray I will carry with me for the rest of my ministry, and I'll be forever indebted to the Scarborough Church family.
Beautiful. I almost teared up.
That's all right.
Okay. Share a sad moment that you've had here at Scarborough.
So the day I was installed at Scarborough Estate Church, I was installed on a Saturday, and I conducted my first funeral on Sunday.
Wow.
It was my nephew, Kissinger Gunn by name, and he was murdered by a stray bullet.
Mercy.
He was with his fiancée. He was just checking on a family member, and he was hit by a stray bullet, and it hurt me, but yet I was honored to be the one to be able to speak at his funeral. And that has left a deep impression for me, because I feel like the Lord was preparing me and has prepared me for the fact that there are going to be some serious losses in ministry when you're a part of a church family. And since being here, we've experienced some losses. As a church, I feel like every week, every month, we were talking about someone who was deceased. And so I realized that life is not something you can take for granted, whether you're a teenager or you're a retiree. Life is so important to put in God's hand every day, because you never know. You go home for a vacation. There was a situation, a gentleman went home for vacation, and while doing what he does on vacation, got into a car accident, fatal. There are people who have been here who have died from terminal illnesses. There's many sad moments, and they all happen to center around the loss of life. But if there's anything I've learned about the Scarborough family, is that we come together and we support those who are suffering. I love you, Scarborough, and I know that you love me, and I'm praying that as I grow, you will see a lot of what you taught me in my ministry. Thank you for loving my family, for letting all three of my girls, my two little ones, and my wife feel welcomed here. And the losses of Scarborough Church were our losses as well. And I'm glad to have been here to have experienced them.
Thank you for sharing and getting personal.
My pleasure.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the ever profound, ever deep Andrew Thomas. You have made an indelible mark on our lives here at Scarborough.
Thank you.
We will never forget you, and we will continue to to love up
Yes,
your
yes,
little girl,
yes.
your wife, and yourself.
Please.
As God gives us the opportunities to do so.
Thank you.
We just want to say, walk good. God bless you. We love you.
Amen. I love you too.